Hey everyone, welcome back and happy Saturday. All right, guys, well, we're back to talk about the Chrisleys because we know that Todd and Julie, they surrendered to prison quite some time ago, but we are still hearing from their kids who are pretty much explaining that it has not been the easiest journey. Now, I know that I spilled a little water on my shirt, so I apologize in the meantime, but we're going to get into all of the drama. So before we do, you guys know how this works. If you haven't already, do all the YouTube things, smash the like button, show some love, and let's do the damn thing.
It's time for all your binge-worthy pop culture news. Welcome to Up and Adam.
All right, guys, so we're back to talk about the Chrisleys because you know that the drama does not stop when it comes to Savannah, Todd, Julie, Grayson, any of them. And how could it? Especially with, at this point, Todd and Julie still trying to appeal their prison decisions, their sentences, trying to get out of prison because they feel like still to this day that they do not belong there. However, they are facing a long ass time behind bars. But we're going to get into it really quick. Now, Savannah Chrisley was the first one to talk about this, but she said that she contemplated taking her life, and this was before filming the reality show, and it was a cry for help. Her little brother is also speaking out, but hold on. Savannah Chrisley described her past attempt of taking her life as a cry for help. In Tuesday's episode of her Unlocked podcast, the former Chrisley Knows Best star told mental health and addiction awareness advocate Patrick Custer that she tried to take her life when she was about 15 or 16 years old, right before her family began filming their reality show. I didn't really even have a life or death experience, but I did try taking my own life, so that potentially was my life or death experience. But for me, it was more of a cry for help. I actually think that even now hearing this, and I'm sure that this would be difficult, like we still have to remember, I was looking on Twitter and some people were like, oh, well, you're an adult. Guys, she was 15, 16 at the time. She wasn't an adult when she was having these thoughts. She is somebody's kid. She's somebody's daughter, but she was even more so somebody's underage child at that time. So I think a little bit of grace goes a long way when it comes to talking about subject matter like this. So, because the incident was so traumatic, Chrisley doesn't remember a lot of the details. It's so crazy because when you go through so much trauma, I feel like your mind just blocks it out. I also feel like, too, there were maybe some side effects to what I had done where it affected my memory, but it all really was a blur. She said that she just took a bottle of pills because she suffered from really bad depression. She does, however, remember waking up in the hospital and her parents being there and discussions being had. She always remembers lying to doctors because she didn't want to be held at the hospital. She admitted that it was hard coming off of that straight into reality television in front of the world and having even more thrown at you, adding that her approach was masking the hiccup and reminding herself that she's fine. However, she and her parents, Todd and Julie, who are currently serving a combined 19 years in prison for bank fraud and tax evasion, stepped up after her hospitalization. My dad spent countless hours with me every day, just trying to get me to talk, telling me his life stories, his trauma, trying to let me know, like, hey, I'm not this perfect person you always thought I am. I've gone through stuff in my life, and I've too had trauma. I want you to feel comfortable. Savannah previously admitted that Todd, who recently celebrated his 54th birthday behind bars, and Julie, who's 50, hid it so well from the outside world that no one knew she had entered this whole game-changing intensive therapy point of her life. She's saying, and this is actually not a bad thing, where people are ripping her. People are saying her parents should have been there more for her because she was having these life-changing thoughts. If her dad was coming to her saying, I'm not perfect, these are harder conversations that I didn't anticipate having with you at 15 years old. I did this, this, and this. I've made some really shitty decisions, some bad decisions. If her dad is coming to her saying all of that to make her feel comfortable and to know that, was this the best decision? Absolutely not. Are you human? Yeah. Then that's just a testament to him as a father. Like, without the bank and tax stuff, with all of that aside, it really is just a true testament. And another person who's really struggling right now, because I think a lot of people, it's just like with Jen Shaw. Everybody wants Jen Shaw behind bars, right? If you're going to completely defraud the elderly, if you're going to do these things, we understand that it's shitty for your family, but you deserve to go away and spend time behind bars. Yes. Okay, I get that. However, there are ramifications for the family that's never done anything. And I do understand the other point of view of, well, guess what? That person, being Todd or Julie or Jen, should have thought about their family before they did these things. I get that as well. But unfortunately, the collateral damage is always your family. And your family doesn't know how to necessarily always deal with situations like this, especially when it's not something that they saw coming. And Grayson is no different, obviously, because he is now saying that he is, well, having his parents in prison is worse than them dying. Okay. Grayson Chrisley is struggling to cope with his parents being holed up in prison. And he opened up about the toll visiting his parents, Todd and Julie, in jail, the toll that it's taken on him, saying the situation has made him bitter. To me, it's worse than them dying because they're here, but they're not here. So it's just time that's being wasted. I'm saying, like, if they died, there's no possibility of you getting any more time with them. So it's over. There's always going to be part of you that is bitter. There's no way around it. So it's going to suck for as long as they're in there. The Chrisleys were sentenced to a combined 19 years in prison for fraud and tax evasion in November of 2022, and Todd began his 12-year sentence at Federal Prison Camp Pensacola in January, while Julie is spending the next 7 years at Federal Correctional Institution and Federal Prison Camp Mariana in Florida. She will also serve 16 months on probation once she is released from prison. Speaking about life since their parents reported to prison, Savannah and Grayson admitted to taking the situation one day at a time. Our schedule doesn't align, and then you don't see one of them for 3 or 4 weeks, and then you're struggling. This is coming from Grayson. I struggle going back to back weeks because I'm not in that mood. And then I go and I start it all over again. You never really get out of it. So he's pretty much saying that it's like sometimes they miss a week because their schedules are so crazy from seeing their parents, but it's like a mindset that you have to get into. So when they don't miss a week, it's like, okay, we've adjusted. But then when you do miss a week and you have to go back into it and see your parents after not seeing them and reminding yourself that this is the situation, this is your new reality, that is a really hard point for him to get to. That's normal, guys. Like even seeing the comments on social. It's really normal. He didn't do anything. I don't think it's fair. I mean, if we want to be mad at Todd and Julie, okay. But this is actually just really sad to me. Grayson, who recently turned 17, said celebrating his birthday without his parents was a challenging obstacle to overcome. Well, it sucked. It wasn't the greatest birthday I've ever had. I didn't expect it to be, though, because like mom and dad aren't there. So yeah, it just kind of sucked. All right, guys, I want to hear what your thoughts are. So go ahead and comment below. Let us know what you think. And more importantly, before you go, if you haven't already, go ahead, smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. And with that, we'll see you next time.